Looks like you lost another one.
Alright guys, welcome back to another episode. Today we're at home in my barn. I put a poll out on Instagram and asked if anyone would like to learn how at least I use a diaphragm call, and it sounded like a bunch of you guys wanted me to make a video about this, so decided I would make it. I guess first I'll do a little demo. Alright, so to cover the basics of a mouth call, this call requires airflow and pressure to make noise. So when you put this in your mouth, you can see how mine's kind of concave. When they come nice and flat. So you want to press this up into the roof of your mouth, using your tongue almost to lay it flat. Let's say these three fingers are my tongue. I want to lay that up against this call. And I'm using the middle part of my tongue to, apply pressure to the reed here. I'm using the outside of my tongue to hold that to the roof of the mouth. So I'm almost making like a cupped shape with pressure in the front of the call. So there's a tab on the bottom of the call, and there's not one on top. Tab goes on the bottom, cuts on the call go up towards the roof of your mouth. Where I found it works best for me is if I put the edge of this, I don't know exactly what to call it, but like the clamp, the metal part of this call, right against the roof of your mouth, there's where it stops caving back, and it's got like this little bump in the middle. I back that call right up against there. It gives me a really good spot. It doesn't tend to move around too much. Tape fits good, all that kind of stuff. Could be different for you. Got to try it out. So when you start trying to use one of these, what's the most important thing is to learn how to just make noise with it. You're not going to pop one in and just start yelping up a storm or cutting up a storm or any of that. So you want to make sure that you can figure out how to make sound first. So even if it's just moving your tongue around the call is going to change pitch and stuff like that, as well as pressure can change pitch. So if you look at the cut on this call, I'll come close. So this is a combo cut of a sense. So it's a combination of a cutter and a V-cut. This tends to be about my favorite type of call to use. And the reason is I can get a clean note if I want, or I can get a raspy note as well as I want. So depending on the pressure, I can change the raspiness. So that kind of leads me into the next thing of, you might not find the right cut for you on the very first call you pick up. Sometimes you will, sometimes you won't. Some easy ones for beginners, at least for what was easy for me, was a V-cut, just because there's not a lot going on with it. Another one would be just a cut alone. When you start adding bat wings, ghost cuts, all this kind of stuff, there's so many different calls out there that you might not find the right one right away, all that kind of stuff. What I would recommend is to buy like a 3-pack of calls. You tend to get a little bit better deal, but you also get 3 calls to try, so you can figure out which one is a better call for you. Some calls are, the reeds are wound, pressed tighter, some of them are pressed looser. There's 100 different combinations as to why this makes sound. So once we started to make a sound. It doesn't even sound like a turkey yet. Once we've kind of learned how to manipulate the sound, so something I did when I was starting to learn how to manipulate sound is when I'm driving in my car and I'm listening to music, I just try and either, do the bass notes or, that kind of stuff. Just try and follow the melody with the call, all those kind of different things. And that kind of helped me learn to manipulate how much pressure, what pitch, where I like to call in my mouth, all these different things. And all of those help me make sound and manipulate it. Once we can make sound with this, we can start focusing on the most important call that I think you can do on one of these, which is a yelp. So a yelp is a communication. Obviously, all of this stuff is communication, but it's the number one call you're going to hear hens do, and it's the number one call I get toms to gobble to. I'll go ahead and yelp for you. Everyone's heard it though. So with yelping, you have to figure out where pressure makes the right sound that sounds good to you. I like a cleaner note that gets raspier as I go. And I'm not quite sure why I like that, but what I figured out is I start with more pressure on the call and I slowly back pressure off of it and I get those notes. Also with a yelp, when we're pressing our tongue against here, this is my tongue, your tongue's almost falling off the call. And it's not like literally, I'm not taking my tongue all the way off the call. I'm just lowering pressure and I'm trying to follow that cadence. So my tongue's just slowly lowering pressure. This isn't gonna sound quite like a yelp, but this is kind of what I'm doing slow. Now, that's the number one call to practice. Like I said, just your tongue almost falling off the call, falling pressure off the call. Big tip for yelping is don't yelp with your mouth open the whole time and use your tongue to stop the notes or your air pressure, like that. You can see it's not as crisp. Like there's not an end of the note in the beginning that's separated from each call versus so I'm using my lips to stop airflow. I'm still putting pressure on the call, but I'm using my lips to stop that airflow. It delivers a clean beginning and end to each note in each part of that yelp. When you look at a video of a hen that's yelping, she's not doing this. She's got her mouth opening and closing. So just like a hen, we're trying to open and close our mouth. Now, for the yelp, you don't have to sound, well, all of these calls, you don't have to sound exactly like a live hen. The most important thing is the cadence. So even if I was out there going, turkeys are going to respond to that. It's the right cadence. Now, sounding better helps, but it's not what matters most. Cadence is what matters most. So look up some videos of some hens yelping. I'll try and put, if I can find some of my old footage, I'll put videos of hens yelping in here. But you want to try and match their cadence, because I've heard hens that sound absolutely horrific coming into my decoys. I almost thought I had a trespasser, and then all of a sudden, hen standing right in the decoys. All right, so the call that I would work on next, once I've got yelping down, I don't have to sound the best. I just got my cadence down. I can make it yelp. The second call that I would work on is cutting, and you can use this in conjunction with the yelp is what I do. I'll give you an example here. So I'll start with yelping. So what cutting is, it's like an excitement, the hen's getting excited or frustrated. And why I say that is the excitement part of it. I've heard hens start cutting and everything like that on the limb when toms start gobbling, and they're telling them, hey, I'm right here, I'm right here, I'm right here. And when I hear hens cutting at me, it's because I'm cutting them off. And so if a hen's yelping and I can get her to respond to just yelping, so if I yelp, she yelps back, I'll yelp at her, and when she starts calling back, I'll cut her off, go, and just do a couple notes. I'm not going on forever. And what that'll do, that'll frustrate that hen. And if you can frustrate a hen and get her to come into your decoys because she's mad, she wants to fight you because you're talking over her, if you can pull her in, you can pull a stubborn tom in. I've done it a bunch of times where the tom just won't come in on its own. He's got a hen with him. He's content. He doesn't have to go get another one. But if you can get that hen to come into your decoys, he sees his hen leaving, going to another tom. So he's got to come over there and defend his girl. To produce a cutting sound, all I'm doing is I'm applying constant pressure on this call, and I'm going almost like I'm spitting, like I'm trying to spit on the ground, like I'm doing that with my tongue, and I'm almost kind of maybe slightly moving my tongue forward on that call. That's how I do it. It might work different on depending on what cut you have and whatever call, but I would start slow. Until you can find the note that you're looking for. Once you find it, then you can start speeding up your cutting. Once you've got that cutting down and you combine it with a yelp, I don't just start cutting and yelping all over the place. I usually start soft yelps, especially when they're on the limb, do like some tree yelps, which is just essentially a really soft yelp. And once you've got yelping down and cutting down, that's all you need. You really don't need more than that to kill a turkey. And you can see all these guys online doing all these fancy calling and all that kind of stuff. You don't need it. Cutting and yelping, 70% of the time is going to be enough calling. 80% of the time is going to be enough calling. So we just finished kind of going over all these tips. If you got any more questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram. I'll do my best to kind of help you. You can send me some videos of you guys calling. I can try and tell you, apply more pressure, take pressure off, try moving your tongue around, all these kind of things. I can try helping you. I can only do so much over the internet, but feel free to message me or any of that kind of things on Instagram. I'll pop it up right now. I just want to thank you guys for watching this. If you found it helpful, leave me a like. If you like my content, go ahead and subscribe. If you got any suggestions on some future content or things you'd like to see, leave me a comment down below, and I'll see if I can make it happen. I am a new father to an 8-month-old baby. Once again, if you like the content, leave a like, go ahead and subscribe. If you want to see more, leave me some comments on what you'd like to see me do. And anyway, next time you see me, I'll probably be doing some sort of archery gear review or killing a turkey, which is a couple weeks away. I'll see you guys later, and practice your turkey calling and let me know how you're doing.